Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. The speaker begins by explaining their background as a researcher who spent years studying difficult emotions like shame, fear, and vulnerability. The research involved collecting thousands of stories from diverse men and women. And within that huge mound of data, stories emerged about embracing imperfection and vulnerability. This led to the creation of the term wholehearted. Wholehearted living means engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness, cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up and say, "I am enough." The shock came when the researcher compiled the don't list. It included perfection, numbing, certainty, exhaustion, self-sufficiency, being cool, fitting in, judgment, and scarcity. The researcher realized that her own life matched that list, which led to a full year of serious soul work. Courage, compassion, and connection are the gifts of imperfection because vulnerability forces us to use them every single day. Courage comes from the Latin root cor, meaning heart. Courage is not heroism. It is speaking one's mind by telling all one's heart. Ordinary courage means putting our vulnerability on the line. For example, instead of playing down exciting opportunities to avoid possible pain, we practice courage by admitting that we want something, and if it fails, we call a friend for support. Compassion, whose Latin origin means to suffer with, becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. Suffering and inadequacy are universal. Compassion also requires boundaries. Compassionate people are boundaried people because it is difficult to accept others when they are hurting us or taking advantage of us. Without boundaries, we become exhausted, resentful, and judgmental. Connection is the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. A major barrier to connection is the myth of self-sufficiency. We are taught to go it alone. But the truth is this: until we can receive with an open heart, we are never truly giving with an open heart. Perfectionism stands as a powerful shame barrier. Where perfectionism exists, shame is always lurking. Shame is the birthplace of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a self-destructive and addictive belief system 20-ton shield built on the idea that if we look, live, and act perfectly, we can avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. Perfectionism is focused on what others will think, while healthy striving focuses on how we can improve. Perfectionism increases the odds of shame, anxiety, and depression, and it leads to life paralysis, missing opportunities because of the fear of failure. It is important to distinguish shame from guilt. Shame says, "I am bad," which corrodes the part of us that believes we can do better. Guilt says, "I did something bad," which often motivates positive change. The antidote to perfectionism is self-compassion, and it becomes the pathway toward wholehearted living. Self-compassion has 3 essential elements. The first is self-kindness, which means being warm and understanding toward ourselves when we fail. The second is common humanity, the reminder that suffering is a shared human experience. The third is mindfulness, which means not avoiding painful emotions, but also not exaggerating or over-identifying with them. As a guiding image, consider the quote, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." Our imperfections are not inadequacies. They are reminders that we are all in this together. From here, the 10 guideposts serve as a map. They are daily practices for a lifetime journey, each one asking us to cultivate something meaningful while letting go of a corresponding barrier. For example, cultivating gratitude and joy while letting go of scarcity and fear of the dark. The final call to action invites us to join the wholehearted revolution. Meaningful change takes time and the risk of losing ourselves by continuing to please, perform, and perfect is far greater than the risk of being seen for who we truly are. The goal is to live brave, afraid, and very, very alive.